Hello everyone, this is Ojo Emmanuel and you're welcome to the JILBOTIcs Classroom. Today we'll be looking at breadboards. So what are breadboards? Breadboards, they are also called project boards in case you want to purchase them in your local stores. They might not be familiar with the name breadboard, so you just tell them you want to buy a project board, or better still, you call it a solderless board. Why is it a solderless board? It's a solderless board because you know a solder that you use with your soldering iron, so there is no need for that when you are using it. So that's why it is called a solderless board. So now, what are breadboards used for? Breadboards, they are used for temporary connections. What do I mean by temporary connections? You may be at the prototyping stage of a project, so that is where you need a breadboard, because at the prototyping stage you are not necessarily building the device. What you are doing is that you are still testing. So now it will be bad and wasteful of you to solder everything together when you are still in the prototyping stage. So it is better to connect the circuit on the breadboard so that the components can be removable. So now, if the components are removable, it means that is not a temporary connection. So that is not a permanent connection. So it is a temporary connection. So it means breadboards are used for temporary connections. Get that? So now you can see two pictures there. We have the front view and the back view. You can see the front view. I'm going to divide it into two main parts. I call these parts the extreme parts and the middle part. So the extreme parts are the upper and lower parts, where you have your plus and minus, the upper and lower parts. So those are the two extreme parts. So the middle part, where you have A, B, C, D, you can see that. Then horizontally you have 1 through to 30. So that is the middle part. Okay, so now you can see the back view there. All the parts are together in the back view too. So I'm going to explain the connection of the breadboard using the back view. Okay, so now in our explanations that we are going to be giving, our breadboard is going to be in this orientation. You see it, the landscape orientation. So that is the orientation our breadboard is going to have. So anything I'm going to be explaining will be based on this orientation. So note this, the orientation of your breadboard, to avoid confusion. Okay, so now the holes in the breadboard, they are for wires. You can see the tiny holes there. You can see those holes, the tiny holes. They are meant for your jumper wires. Jumper wires, they are wires that are used for connection on the breadboard. You have them in your kits. And the holes are also meant for components like your LED, your LDR, your resistor, your button, and all that. So this that is the function of the holes on the breadboard. So now we are looking at the two extreme parts. Remember the orientation. The two extreme parts, they are conventionally used for power. What do I mean by power? By power, I mean the positive and the negative of your power source. So you can see that. You can see a red line there and a black line. But on your own breadboard, the black line is blue. So it is still the same thing. You get that? So the red line is for positive, and the black line, that is blue in your own case, is for negative, for the two extreme parts. You can see there. Okay, so now the middle part. Now in the middle part, Middle part is also divided into two. Looking at this, from A to E, they are together. Then from F to J, they are also together. So there is no connection between A to E and F to J. Note that there is no connection between A to E and F to J. You get that? Okay. So now, like I said earlier, I'm going to explain the connection of the holes on the breadboard using the back view. So now, firstly, I'm going to explain the extreme parts. You can see the extreme parts there. You can see the two extreme parts, the upper and the lower parts. So now you can see a metal there, a metal running horizontally across the extreme parts. You can see it there. So this metal running horizontally means all the holes, that is the holes that you have in the upper part of the breadboard, which is where you have the red line, they are connected together horizontally. So it means when you insert anything into the first hole on the part where you have the red line, then it is definitely connecting to all the holes where you have the red line. You get that? So now the same thing happens on the holes where you have the blue line. In your own case, where you have the blue line, so everything, they are connected together horizontally. The same thing is applicable for the lower part. You can see it, they are identical. But note, here you have the red line and the blue line, they are not connected together. You can see there, the metal runs horizontally, it ends. Then another metal runs horizontally, and it ends too. Okay? So now remember the orientation we are still using to avoid confusion. Okay? So now the middle part. You can see the middle part. You can see where I explained that there is a division, there is no connection. You can see it there. You can see it, the line there. You can see it. So there is no connection between the upper part of the middle part. You can see it. Let me call it the upper chamber and the lower chamber for easy understanding. So now in the upper chamber, you can see the metals running vertically. Remember, for the extreme parts, they are running horizontally. So it means they are connected horizontally. But for the middle part, they are connected vertically. You can see that. So it means any wire you insert into a point, into a hole on the middle part of the breadboard is definitely connecting every hole that is vertical to it. Is that right? Okay. Every hole that is vertical to it. So now we'll explain more of that. So now, this is a circuit diagram. And with this circuit diagram, you can see your Arduino Uno there. The Arduino Uno, the same Arduino you have in your kit, and you can see an LED. You can see the LED there. Don't worry, we are going to talk about LEDs, but for the sake of this tutorial, just follow carefully to understand how you can use a breadboard for connection. Okay, so now you can see a resistor there too, a 270 ohms resistor. The reason why we are making use of a 270 ohms resistor, we are still going to explain that, but stay calm and follow through. So now next you are going to watch a video where I will connect this circuit in real life, and you understand better on that. Okay, so we are going to connect this schematic diagram on the breadboard. So, and before we do that, I'm going to explain what I explained earlier for better understanding the connection on your breadboard, like how the holes are linked together. Okay, So now you can see the two parts that I referred to as the extreme part the other time, this and this and this. So you can see the red line, you can see it, red line for positive, then the blue line for negative. Okay, so now this, according to what I explained the other time, we are still using the same orientation, so so that there will be no confusion. Okay, so now this is the upper part and the lower part, so they are identical. You can see it, the red line and the blue line, red for positive and blue for negative. Okay, so now this is the middle part. Like I said in the explanation, there is a bridge between these two parts. So this is the bridge, you can see it. So there is no connection between A to E and F to J. Okay, so there is no connection between this part and the other part. So now we are going to talk about the extreme parts first. So I'm going to take the upper part. I'll take this part first. So now I said the extreme parts, they are connected horizontally, considering the orientation of our breadboard in this manner. So they are connected horizontally. So it means if I insert this jumper wire into where I have the red line on the breadboard, it means this particular jumper wire, this red jumper wire, is connected to all the O's here, all the O's here, all the O's on the red part. So it means they are connected together. So it means if I insert another jumper wire here, the yellow jumper wire, it means this yellow jumper wire and the red jumper wire, they are connected together. So any connection you make on any of the O's on the red line, it goes all through the red line. So it means all the O's are connected together. So you can easily transfer connections from this part to the extreme end. So it means if I'm connecting my positive, maybe positive from the Arduino to this hole in the breadboard, it means my positive is also in this hole, this, and all the O's on the red line. You see that? Okay, so now the same thing is applicable in the blue line. So let me use a black jumper wire in this case. So if you insert a black jumper wire into the black where you have the blue line, so it means all the O's here, you see that they are connected to this black jumper wire. Okay, so it means if I insert this purple jumper wire into this end, it is connected without joining the two other ends. You can see the two other ends. Without joining them, these two jumper wires are connected. Why? Because the breadboard is manufactured in such a way that along this line there's a metal. You saw the back view of the breadboard. So there's a metal at the bottom that connects everything that you have on this blue line and also connects everything that you have on this red line. Okay, so now, and note that there is no connection between the O's that you have on the red line and the one you have on the blue line. So there is no connection between the two. So it means the one you have on the red line, they are connected horizontally like that. Then the ones you have on the blue line, they are connected horizontally like that. Okay, the same thing is applicable here. The other extreme part that I refer to as the extreme part, the bottom. So the same thing is applicable. The red is connected horizontally like that. Then the blue is connected horizontally that way. So now let's look at the middle part. Okay, the middle part now. In the middle part, remember the extreme parts, they are connected horizontally based on our orientation, based on the orientation of the breadboard that we have been using. So now, the middle part, they are connected vertically. Okay, they are connected vertically. So it means this part of the breadboard, you can see A1. So you can refer to it as A1. So it means A1 is connected to all the holes that you have here. You can see vertical. The reason why I said they are connected vertically. So all these holes are connected together. So it means if I insert this jumper wire into this hole and I insert this other jumper wire into this hole, they are connected without joining the two ends. You can see the two ends. Without joining them, they are connected. Okay, so now remember I said there is a bridge between this part and the other part. So there is a bridge. So now it means if this jumper wire is connected to this hole and I insert the other jumper wire to this hole, they are not connected because there is a bridge here. Remember I showed the back view of the middle part. So there is no connection between this part and the other part. So these two wires, they are not connected. Okay, so now the connection is the same for all the holes. So it means for 2, they are connected together. For 3, they are connected together. 4, connected together, and so on. Okay, so now we are going to construct the schematic diagram that you have on the left. We are going to connect it on the breadboard, and you'll see how you can do that with the explanation. Okay, so now let's start with the LED. You can see the LED. Remember I showed you the, okay, this is the symbol of the LED, and this part of the LED is the cathode. You can also refer to it as the negative, and the other part is the anode, which is the positive. So now the anode is connected to 5 volt on your Arduino. Okay, so now remember I said the extreme parts of the breadboard, they are conventionally used for power, right? So now I'm going to connect my 5 volts, which is the positive, from the Arduino. This is the 5 volts. This, you can see it. So that's the 5 volts. So I'm going to, you can use either of the two extreme parts. So I'm going to use this. So now insert, I'm going to insert my 5 volts, which is the positive, to one of the holes on the red line. So it means my 5 volt has been transferred to all the holes on this part. See, so it means if I insert any wire into this place, another hole on the red line, it's also 5 volts. Okay, so now let me remove it. Okay, so now let me connect my ground. You can see it, ground. Let me transfer my ground to the blue, where I have the blue line. So I'm going to use a black jumper wire. So now insert it into the Arduino where you have ground. Ground, that's GND, the same thing as ground. So now I will insert it into the breadboard where I have where the blue line is. You can see that. So it means the blue line is connecting ground to all the holes there. Now it means ground is coming from Arduino into this hole, so it is transferring ground to all the holes here along the blue line. Okay, Okay, so now I'll start from the LED. So I'll insert the LED into the breadboard. So look at it. You can see my LED. Connecting it this way is wrong. This way, the two leads on the same line, they are connected vertically. It is wrong because I said the breadboard, they are connected. This part of the breadboard is connected vertically. This part, yes, you can see it. You can see they are connected vertically. But looking at the schematic diagram, the two leads of the LED, they are connecting to different points. So placing the LED this way is wrong. So I'm going to change the orientation. Okay. So now, but firstly, you note your anode and the cathode. You see it? So anode is the longer one, this, the longer one, this, and the other one is the cathode. So note that. So I insert it this way. Okay. So now my anode is connected to 5 volt on my Arduino. Remember, I have transferred 5 volts from the Arduino to this upper part where I have the red line, so I can pick my 5 volts from any hole along the red line. So let me use this yellow. Let me just insert it into any hole on the red line. So remember, this is our anode. This, so insert it. Remember, this lead is connected vertically, so you can insert the jumper wire into any of the lines along this line. Okay, so let me insert it into this line. Okay, so we have done this part of the schematic diagram. So now the cathode is connected to one lead of the resistor. Okay, so the function of the resistor there is to limit the amount of current flowing through the LED. So well, we have a 270 ohms resistor here, but I'm going to be using 220 ohms. You have that in your kit. Okay, so now one lead of the resistor is connected to the cathode. Remember, there is a connection here based on the explanation. Okay, there's a connection here, so I can just insert one lead of the resistor to any of the holes here. Let me insert it here. Okay, so now the other lead of the resistor, I have not connected it, you can see it. So it's going to ground on the Arduino, and I've already transferred ground from the Arduino to this blue line, right? So I can insert it into any of the holes on the blue line. Okay, so now I can insert my resistor into any hole in the blue line. It will work, but you can choose not to connect it in that manner. You can transfer the other lead of the resistor to another point on the breadboard. Okay, you can see that. So you can pick any of the points where the other lead of the resistor is connected to vertically. You know the orientation, vertically to ground. So that is this part of the connection, this. Okay, so let me use a white jumper wire. We'll just insert it there and take it to ground. Now note, under no circumstance should you connect your positive and negative together. That is called short circuiting. It may damage your Arduino board, so you have to be very careful, and it may damage any components that you are using. Okay, so now I'm going to power my Arduino. Okay, so I will insert the cable. You can see the LED is on. So now we are done with the connection of the schematic diagram on the breadboard. Okay, thank you for watching. I am Ojo Emmanuel, and if you have any question on this, you can ask on the platform provided by JILBOTIcs. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.